What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Paranormal Mind Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I cannot find the air horn. It's been too long.
See, I can't even get away with it even when we're having a new format. And if you guys are watching right now, we are doing a new format for right now because Josh and mine and Josh's schedule is all kinds of busy right now. So we figure in order to crank these out as efficiently as we were doing in the past, we have to do it virtually for right now.
Yep, for a little while, we're going to try and do that. And we're just staying super busy trying to film, always filming, editing.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it just never ends. So what you got for us today?
Nope. Well, today we are going to be talking about something that kind of blends history with the paranormal, which is what I love anyway, and I know you love that too. It's the legend of Bill, I believe it's Bill Sketoe's hole. And I know that sounds kind of dirty.
Bill Sketoe's hole. What about his hole?
I knew you would love that a little too much. That's
Ooh,
alarming.
I'm intrigued
for a lot of reasons. I bet you are. All right, so here we go. So this legend has been a staple of Southern ghost stories, particularly in Alabama. So it's close to home for us. It's a tale of injustice, mystery, and eerie occurrences. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So Bill Sketoe, I believe that's how, or Sketoe.
Sketoe.
It may be Sketoe. It's Sketoe. So maybe it's Sketoe.
Yeah, maybe.
Sketoe.
Tomato.
Whose real name was William Sketoe, was a Methodist minister and a Confederate soldier during the American Civil War. The story takes place in the town of Newton, Alabama, back in December 1864, back in the 1800s. Sketoe had taken leave from the Confederate Army to care for his ailing wife. However, this act of compassion led to a tragic end. On his way home, he was ambushed by a group of local men known as Home Guards.
Home Guards?
Yep, Home Guard. So they accused him of desertion and collaborating with Union sympathizers.
Oh, dang.
So despite his pleas and explanations, the Home Guards decided to execute him. So they didn't even, they're
oh
like,
my
hey,
God.
You know what?
You're done.
You deserted the Confederate Army, and you were going to be sentenced to death.
That was,
I believe, is a little bit harsh.
It is, but it was actually pretty common. Unfortunately, when you first started on this story, I was like, oh, we got us a deserter here. When he went to his wife, he deserted the army. They're going to execute him.
Yeah. Super sad. But yeah, you are right. There have been cases where this has happened, especially back in those days. That's just what it was. But still, the fact that you just decide to execute them and not really give them a trial,
right?
or anything, it's just
like, what the heck?
It's over for him.
That's it, man. You're done.
They took him to Choctawhatchee River. My God, dude. Like I said, we cannot get away from the soundboard. No matter where I go, the soundboard is always there.
I keep that thing on me.
They took him to the Choctawhatchee River and prepared to hang him from a large oak tree that overlooked the water. And here's where things get really eerie, okay? As the legend goes, when they attempted to hang Sketoe, his weight broke the branch of the tree.
Big old boy.
Yeah. So undeterred, the men dug a hole beneath his dangling feet to ensure he would be hanged properly.
You know what Mike Galliano would call that? Dangle down.
A dangle down? Yeah. My God. Let's not go down that rabbit trail. So,
oh God.
So Bill Sketoe was executed and his body was left hanging as a warning to others. But the story doesn't end there. The story does not end there at all. This is where the paranormal elements come into play. For years after Sketoe's death, the hole they dug beneath his feet, which became known as Bill Sketoe's hole, that's where the hole comes from, not what you were thinking, Josh. All right. It refused to stay filled.
Oh.
No matter what. Locals would fill the hole with dirt, rocks, and debris, but within a day or two, it would always empty out. Stop it right now. Josh, listen. Stop,
Bill's
okay?
hole.
Your mind is in that hole. Your mind is in the gutter. Okay?
Oh, God. Okay. I'm here. I'm present. Let's do this.
I hope so.
My God.
So this strange occurrence led people to believe that Sketoe's spirit was keeping the hole open as a reminder of his unjust death.
Well,
that's not supposed to be funny.
No, I know. I'm going to take a note.
Thing.
We can't have a podcast episode about holes.
He was accused, he was accused, and the story goes as he, for whatever reason, wanted that hole open to make sure that people were stop it, Josh. God dang it, man. That people were reminded of his unjust death.
Oh.
And many people have reported seeing his ghost near the site. Some say they hear the sound of footsteps or even a shadowy figure hanging from the tree, reliving the tragic event over and over again. Indeed, for those who might think it's just a legend, there are documented accounts from the 19th and 20th centuries where people have tried to explain this mysterious hole. Some speculate it could be due to natural causes like an underground spring, but no definitive explanation has ever been confirmed. There's also a bit of local lore about how the hole was finally filled for good. According to some versions of the story, it was a group of young boys who managed to fill it by placing a large stone over it. You know what? Look, I'm trying to look away and read the story, and I'm seeing you like about dying over there with laughter.
Sorry, man. I'm
like a little kid.
Oh man, this is
wow, dude.
Okay.
So, again, according to some versions of the story, it was a group of young boys who managed to fill it by placing a large stone over it.
Did they succeed?
However, this doesn't change the eerie history that surrounds the location. The story of Bill Sketoe is indeed a fascinating and tragic piece of local folklore.
Yeah, it is interesting. I wonder if the hole's still there.
During the Civil War, they said it was finally filled for good by, the boys placing the large stone over it.
Oh, okay.
So during the Civil War, the South was rife with tensions, not just between Union and Confederate forces, but also within communities. The Home Guards were tasked with maintaining order and dealing with deserters, but sometimes their actions were extreme and unjust, as in the case of Bill Sketoe.
Huh?
The hole is a peculiar aspect of the story. While there are theories about natural explanations like underground water or the soil composition, none fully account for why it would consistently empty after being filled.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
that hole just can't get satisfied.
Because I know you're about to die laughing.
Yeah, that hole, man.
So many locals
just can't satisfy
the hole.
It
can't stay empty.
No.
So many locals firmly believe it's a supernatural phenomenon tied to Sketoe's unjust death. So have there been any recent sightings or unexplained events related to the site? Yeah, there have been a few. People still report feeling uneasy near the site, and some claim to see shadows or feel cold spots. It's become a sort of local haunted attraction, drawing both skeptics and believers alike. And it's not just about the ghost story, it's about remembering the people and events behind these tales. Bill Sketoe's legend reminds us of a tumultuous period in American history and the personal tragedies that occurred.
Yeah, I mean
What were you saying?
the Civil War is like people don't really realize this, but us being in the Southeast, it's like nearly all of our hauntings down here are related to the Civil War to some capacity. It's insane.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with just the amount of energy exerted during those times. Like wartime is never pretty, and there's a lot of sadness, a lot of anxiety, a lot of turmoil circling around events like that.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's not surprising at all that land would, would be affected in some way because of things like that in the past. So, if you ever find yourself in Newton, Alabama, if you're ever in the Alabama area and you want to take a moment to visit the site and reflect on the story, you can go and check it out. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, it's a poignant reminder of the past. And, like I said, history is really important to us, especially with what we do with the searchers and everything. It's super important.
Yeah,
So,
the longer that we do this and the more investigations you go on, like anybody, I think that the history becomes more prevalent than really anything is the stories that are at these places. Yeah, I mean, those are the things I don't forget.
Yeah, for sure. So, I want to go back real quick to, we were talking about, especially in the South, all of these hauntings. Do you think that the majority of the hauntings that we have in the past or have in the South is due to our storied past, I guess you could say?
I think a fair amount of them are, right? I mean, I would say majority that I know of, at least that I've, dealt with, are definitely, they have ties to the Civil War. Yeah, I mean, and it's because so much of that went on here in Georgia too. If you look at like Savannah, I mean, it was you had a lot of people that died of,
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Civil War, but then they died of sicknesses and stuff like that. But all of that stuff also stemmed from the Civil War being there, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's really like I'm trying to like rack my brain about investigations I've done in Georgia that really haven't revolved around that, but it's few and far between.
Yeah, and it's not just Georgia and Alabama, right? So, like, if you think of
Kentucky,
Kentucky's still considered the South.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know as well as I do. There's a lot of it there.
Yep, there's a lot of different stories that takes place. A lot of places that there's reports of activity and some weird stuff going on. It's all over, man. And again, you go back to what Tesla said. Like, if you want to know about the mysteries of the universe, look at energy, frequency, and vibration.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
We operate off of all of that, right? So whenever there's high energetic moments in history, there's got to be some timestamp there. There's got to be some mark that's left, and that's why we always talk about things like residual hauntings and all of that stuff is due to those theories.
Yeah, and that's the other part about that too, is like we deal with a great deal of residual hauntings here too because of the same reason. So
yeah. Well, the Pauley Jail in Union Springs, Alabama, that's got intelligent and residual all throughout that town.
And I mean, look at that case of Aberdeen, man. I mean, that is regardless if he did or didn't do what they said he did, it's still horrible, right? I mean, absolutely horrible. And a lot of that happened. Of that happened in Georgia.
Absolutely. So I want to touch on something a little bit with the story that I just talked about. So there's two different versions that exist as the cause of Sketoe's death, right? and I want to make sure I'm saying his name right because I have a history of butchering names.
How do you pronounce Sketoe?
It's Sketoe or Sketoe, and I'm thinking it's Sketoe because like
SKI,
keto diet,
right? Or is it SKE?
No.
Oh, Sketoe.
SKE.
Dang, it could go either way.
I know, man. But, like I said, you think of the keto diet, SKETO, Sketoe, keto, whatever. But anyway, there's two different versions exist in the cause of Sketoe's death. The legend, as related by the historians, say that although Sketoe offered papers indicating that he had hired a substitute to serve in his place, according to the story, which is a very interesting fact about it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The home guard, no matter what, refused to believe him.
Huh.
And the home guard decided to hang him as a deserter. However, historians have pointed out that the Confederacy had repealed its substitution laws in early 1864, making the legend's assertion that Sketoe had hired a substitute questionable at best.
Weird.
So, furthermore, as noted above, no records exist of, as noted above, I'm reading as what it said above here, no records exist of Bill Sketoe having ever served in any Confederate or state military unit to begin with.
And this one's so close to us, we got to take a trip out there at some point. It'd be cool.
I believe we do. That would be cool, or just to go check it out, or whatever. But it's strange. It's strange.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up how to pronounce his name. I can't find it.
Yeah. So, according to the legend, Sketoe was waylaid on the afternoon of December 3rd, 1864, as he crossed the wooden bridge over the Choctawhatchee River, of course. So the men dragged him into the nearby woods, beating him and forcing him to crawl through the sand while they prepared to kill him. Sketoe was next hauled to a waiting buggy, and a rope was thrown over a post oak limb and put around his neck. And a friend of Sketoe's happened by the scene at the time. Unable to dissuade the home guard from their intended course, he ran for help.
That's crazy.
So anxious to get on with the hanging, the home guard asked Sketoe if he had any last words. And Sketoe asked if he might pray. However, instead of praying for himself, as his killers expected, he began to pray for them instead.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, it says that
so
he was
infuriated. Yeah, because Sketoe was also a
minister,
preacher,
right? Preacher,
yeah. Yeah. So this infuriated the militiamen, and they lashed at the horse hitched to the buggy, leaving Sketoe dangling from the tree limb. Super sad.
It is in the list of 9 most haunted places in Alabama to visit, according to this website.
Yep. So I think we definitely need to go and check it out.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just to see the spot and pay respects and just to check out the history, I think would be amazing anyway.
I agree completely.
So that's basically the story of Bill Sketoe, the legend. And I thought it would be cool, since we haven't done a podcast in a while, to jump back into the history and the paranormal, which is what we love, and to talk about this story. But also I want to talk about like what we've been up to lately, because I know we touched on filming and stuff that we're doing and different conventions that we're doing. But why don't you talk about briefly about the little Bigfoot excursion?
Pretty fun.
Y'all
this
did.
past a few days ago, I just got back, but we went out to Alabama actually. Excuse me, to go Bigfoot hunting, and that was pretty interesting. We were
Did you find him?
We did not, man. Unfortunately, this close though. We were that close. We did hear some interesting noises, and it's very quiet. We were out in the middle of nowhere. Had to go into the woods about a good mile.
So let me ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
Do you believe those noises were paranormal in nature or at all, or do you think it's just like animals and stuff?
I'm going to say in this particular situation, just animals, mainly because I don't have a reason to believe they weren't strange enough for me to think, oh wow, what is this, And however, there is a ton of paranormal activity that surrounds even Bigfoot sightings, and I have a lot of friends that have had their own experiences with that, and some of them that don't, they don't delve into the paranormal at all, and they won't even go Bigfoot hunting because they have seen them and they don't want to witness that again. So,
that's crazy. So it wasn't a Searchers filming; it was for a show that we are producing right now. So and just want to let people know that in case you're
no, you will not see Searchers out Bigfoot hunting, at least not in this first season coming up. But I guess you'll never know.
You never know, man. I mean, we got some plans, though. We got some plans for some things in the future for sure.
But yeah, it was fun, right? It was fun being out in the nature for one. It's a little bit different than what we normally have been filming. So, like I said, it was really quiet.
Yeah, and it was a horrible time to do it though, because it's in the heat of the summer.
It's so hot outside. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
That's why y'all can hear right now that I'm asking Josh how it went, because I didn't go. No.
Yeah, I mean, we live in Georgia, but we're not stupid, right? I mean, we knew how hot it was going to be. But we went out,
there's mosquitoes and
yeah, it was, dude, there was these giant beetles when we were filming some of the interview stuff, and they just would not leave us alone. But yeah, it was a fun trip though. Me and Mike Angus went out and ran the cameras, and I don't know, it was just pretty laid back in comparison. We're normally like, I mean, we hammered it out really quick, but at the same time, it was nice that it was only, a few hours drive for us. So
yeah, that's a big change from what it's normally like. So that's cool, man. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Again, we will be announcing. Well, y'all know already, but our podcast members know. So, like, if you're listening to the audio only and you want to become a Patreon member, you can by going to patreon.com/searchersbelieve and become a member. And if you do that, you'll know the inside scoop of what we're working on, which is we've already announced it to our current Patreon members, but it's something that's super exciting. It's super exciting and something that we're really excited to get going.
It's going to be cool.
Yep. Also, this episode is brought to you by Horn Paranormal. They are our sponsors.
Horn Paranormal.
That's
the applause.
There's the crowd cheering.
That's right.
Yep. But go check them out, hornparanormal.com. They have all kinds of paranormal gear and all of this cool stuff that you can take with you to go on your investigations or just to test things out. I mean, they've got a wide range of stuff. So go check them out. They've been supporting us for a while now, and we really appreciate them, and we really back them. We wouldn't be accepting them as a sponsor if we didn't believe in their products and what they do.
Yeah. They're all around good people. So yeah, definitely check them out.
For sure. And thank you all so much for listening and being patient with us. I know that it's been a while since we released a new episode. And again, it's because we've been super busy and we're trying to work out logistics on how to film regularly for you guys. So thank you all for being patient with us while we're going through this little rough patch of trying to figure out how we're going to best do that.
We're
really
exploring a lot of things.
And until the next episode, what'd you say?
I said, we're exploring a lot of things, trying to get it all figured out.
Yep. Whether it remains virtual or if we can figure out something to get it live again, whatever the case may be, we'll figure it out. And again, we're always thinking on what to do to to best entertain you guys and to make sure that you guys are happy. So just bear with us. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. But until the next episode, Searchers out.
See ya.